Hi, Mary Joy. It's Cherry. So, I'm ready to do a little update with you and Paul. You're asking, should I focus on him as my potential best mate or move on? I find it kind of interesting in this year, 2020, where I've heard a lot that this is a big twin flame year. I've noticed a lot of people in twin flame, especially the feminine in twin flame relationships, deciding, okay, I'm done with this now. Like, either they're done with the journey or just done with the labels or just, like going there. It's now their choice to go through this separation phase that they've been put under by their DM, I think. Like, I don't know, something interesting's going on in the energy, which I think does stir up the energy of bringing people together too. But it's not, can't be done under a manipulative way. It's not like I'm going to separate you from you so you can come to me kind of thing. It's just simply, I'm done. I'm just don't want to put up with this and I'm going to do other things, kind of thing. So that's the tricky part. Like, what if you do that and you track them back? Then do you take them back? So I feel like, now it's going to be under your terms kind of thing. So let's take a look at your cards. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles, which is super good. I mean, it's like, woo, beginnings and prosperity. This is a new cycle, a new phase, a new chance. So either you're going to give Paul a new chance, or you're just taking a new chance on on your life kind of thing. Taking a new chance, a new phase, a new cycle. And yeah, it's a very positive card though. It's earthly, it's sensual, and also sensual pleasures, tangible achievements, gratification and satisfaction. So yeah, what makes you feel good, right? What makes you feel good? Don't do things that make you feel bad. Then I think we've got Paul here. Whether or not he is a fire sign, I think the wands represents a very charismatic man, a powerful man, a leader type, charismatic, bright, interesting, a father type, sexy, generous, you know, warm, and then in the wands in the knight version is the kind of promiscuous one, but in a kingly version, if they're not tied down, they could continue behaving like a knight, But I feel like this king he's stable and fair, and he enjoys deserved recognition. So he wants to be around people who's going to give him credit where credit's due kind of thing. So that kind of makes him feel good, praise and people talking good about him. And so when he gets called out, he doesn't like it so much. Then we've got, but here we go. He got called out. Here's the Five of Swords. And this is like a hollow victory. This is also indicates cheating. And, there's a remorse here. There's a remorse for his action. There's this desire to change things, to make things better. That I feel like he knows he's done something wrong that he may never be able to fully repair, and maybe lose a sense of trust with you, and especially your alienation from a community, and that hurts him too. He doesn't like that. And the whole secrecy thing, I don't think he's doing it intentionally to manipulate you, or intentionally to abuse you. I think this, just try to look at it like he's doing it to himself, kind of thing. And I find that some people have sort of an addiction to secrecy. Like, there can be addictions to all kinds of things, but there can be an addiction to this. So not only is your sexual situation intense, mind-blowing, whatever, but the secrecy behind it also can be addictive. And some of this behavior, these are just impressions that Spirit gave me as I was doing your reading, but some of the behavior you can look into his astrological chart. If he has a lot of planets in the 12th house, it just comes naturally to hide things. Like, so some of the what he is and what he does, it's almost as he can't help it. It's part of his thumbprint, right? And it's not, that you can't overcome your birth situation, your birth information. You can, like, your birth chart doesn't define you. You can totally overcome it, but this is kind of like the boundaries that you're working with here. And I, for example, I have a lot in my 12th house, so I tend to be a secretive person. It just and like kind of keep things to myself. And sometimes maybe it is for fear of criticism or other things, but whatever the reason, it's strange. So like I don't have Venus in my 12th house, and I've noticed a lot of people who have Venus in their 12th house enjoy secret romances, enjoy that. It kind of is stimulating to them. So that's a possibility there. Anyway, so if that is uncomfortable to you, if that is, where you draw the line, you can't do the secret thing anymore, then you have a right to do whatever makes you feel comfortable, If you can't do it, you can't do it. So then you got the Fool. So the Fool is a beginning of a new way. This is fearlessly just going into the unknown and just trying out a new way of doing things, This is also saying some unpredictable events might happen. And this is also both the beginning and the end of a mystical quest. So, maybe you standing up for yourself and what you want will spur a new beginning between the both of you. Maybe he'll respect that and he'll get sort of an aha moment and he'll change his ways and that kind of thing. So the point is not to try to manipulate him at all, but just do what makes you comfortable. The next part's so interesting, though. So I'm using the Lenormand to do some clarification, and we have the ring. So that's most of the time that's proposals. It can also be marriage. So I don't know if he's married or in a committed relationship, or this indicates a strong relationship and deep feelings. So these could be feelings he has for you, And then we have the Garden, which is public. And this isn't exactly what you want. You want this to be out in the open, in the public. But I'm using the Cherry Twilight Lenormand. There's a lilac and a cherry version. And the cherry version is saying that this is a feeling of loneliness and neglect. So you may be feeling that. But then we have the Clover, which is good luck. And it's a joyful event and pleasant surprise. These are just simple cares requiring patience and work. So I'm going to read you both the Ring and the Garden. If these are like little equations, if you add them together, they give you the bigger picture. The Ring is about, like I said, so traditionally, it's promises, agreements, voluntary commitment, engagement, or marriage. In the Twilight version, which is not what I'm showing here, the lilac version, it's betrothal, marriage promises, attachment, agreement on cooperation. And the cherry version, which is what you see here, it's strong relationships, deep feelings, mutual obligations of partnership, an expensive gift or inheritance. And I feel this kind of reflects you a little bit, this intense feelings, because if it were the lilac one, it would be, to me, more like an obligated marriage, a more of a 3D thing. And this is a different kind of feeling. This is a connection with you that's very intense. Then with the Garden, I'm getting it's also a good, it's public life, going out, entertainment, social networks. In the lilac, it's about new contacts, useful links, pleasant pastime. If these two together, to me would indicate a proposal outside in a beautiful garden area. And since we have the clover here too, it would be like a beautiful outdoor engagement, like say in the month of February, because clover is the month of February. And so it's just kind of bizarre that, you're just about ready to let go of this situation. And now you've got this clue that something might be stirring up. Now, this is the cherry version. So the cherry version says loneliness, neglect of social life and conventions, naturalness, immersion in oneself, a lack of new impressions. So that's almost the reverse of the positive feeling, and this is kind of like how you're feeling, left alienated from the social circle, and also that that desire to not be in secrecy anymore, to be open and to be able to show how you feel to each other. But the clover is both good meanings in both the cherry and the lilac, and so traditionally it's good luck, profit, a joyful event, a pleasant surprise. In the lilac, it's a long expected luck, great joy, unusual set of circumstances. And in the cherry, it's simple earthly cares and joys and chances, and requiring patience and work. So, that being said, it's like, now what do you do? Now that you've got this information here. So we've got 3 cards that flew out for you from the Nature's Whisper. You have intuition, you have contemplation, and amplify your positive emotions. I think that's the first one that came out. And this is kind of like the little girl with a ripple effect. Didn't I say something I said something to somebody about ripple effect. Interesting. This morning, somebody asked me a question, and I said, and they're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be scared anymore. I know it was Cassidy. And I said, yeah, maybe you're going to create a positive ripple effect. So a lot has to do with our, emotions. Our positive emotions or negative emotions create this ripple out, to people. And what is it that you want? Do you want to attract? Do you want to put him down for his actions, and never, or do you want to accept his way and just say, okay, we've come to an impasse, I just can't do secrets, and if that's the only way you can do it, then I guess that's it for us, kind of thing. But anyway, amplify your positive emotions or this. There is a ripple effect of energy flowing from you. Be positive. Simply staying happy and sending that happiness out from your heart will benefit those around you. As you adjust your motives and attitude, this energy flows from you in concentric circles, affecting all of your desires and beliefs. There is a chance to bring good fortune and influences to all the events in your life, as circles also represent cycles. Know that you are continually going in and out of cycles, growing and changing. With every ending comes a new beginning. Trust that positive energy you radiate will attract what you wish for. Isn't that so perfect? We have here we get, talking about cycles, and the Fool talking about beginnings and endings, So that's that kind of, that flow, that the beginnings and endings of things actually is movement that you might need right now, So let's see, what do you want to talk about next? Let's look at contemplation. This card is so pretty. Look at this. Let's look at it. So it's got this beautiful butterfly lady with a lion. Is he a Leo? I got this since he's a fire Leo sign. I forgot what you told me. Anyway, and so, or you, Leo. So, contemplation, enjoy your own company. This is a wonderful time for you to reorganize and consider the things you enjoy most in your life. Make a point of spending a little time allowing your mind to wander away from everyday concerns that occupy your mind. Give yourself an opportunity to be inspired. Ruminate on your inner voice and listen to your own counsel. And that kind of segues really good back to intuition. So use that intuition of yours, just keep, whether or not, you feel he's your twin flame, which he probably, doesn't mean that he's not, if he's not doing what you want. I mean, I think our twin flames, when they don't do what we want, it kind of forces us to make a move for ourselves, a move into our own personal journeys, which is what ultimately the twin flame relationship is about. It's about a self-love and a journey of discovering ourselves. And so I think you're gonna just go back into this nice phase of focusing on yourself before you guys can get together again. So you seem to have a knack for knowing what's going to work. Your creative process is unique to you. You just get started and magic happens. You have a lot of endurance and you are a hard worker. Once you get focused on a project, you don't stop. You are a trendsetter and you seem to understand what people love. You are very forward thinking. You are being reminded that you have your own inner voice guiding you always. Tap into your wisdom and allow yourself this higher perspective. Okay? So that's pretty much it, girl. It's like, I feel like there's a new phase coming in for you, this new cycle, and it may or may not bring them back. And you decide, if, set your own boundaries, what makes you comfortable. I don't necessarily, that whole secrecy is, an abuser kind of thing. Maybe that's helping you like heal your inner child when you dealt with this secrecy issue when you were little. And part of our journey of self-love is healing our child, healing all the things that happened to us as a kid. And sometimes certain men and women come into our life to heal that child, and it's part of that bigger journey. So I don't think he's intentionally doing any of this to hurt you. Honestly, I think he feels regret for it. He feels sorrow for it. He feels embarrassed, and he feels kind of a remorse about it. But on the other end, he does. I know he very much enjoys your connection and feels strongly towards you. So there in the letterman, it shows that there is that strong feeling for you. It's just that he hasn't come into his own conclusion that that he doesn't need that secrecy, and maybe the secrecy is his addiction. Okay, so he's got to work that out on his own, and you don't have to help him. You don't have to enable him, right? He can work that out on his own, and you can say, "Sorry, I can't do it with you, but we had a great time. If you ever want to hook up, and you're done with the secrecy stuff, then let me know," that kind of thing. So maybe that is the answer for you. You know what's right for you instinctively anyway. You asked me the question, but I think you already knew the answer for yourself, that you can't do this in a secret way anymore, right? But it's okay, I guess, every once in a while to check and see how this person's doing or whatever, if that's something that you need to do. But to have an actual relationship, and definitely shouldn't have sex with them again unless this issue has cleared up, unless you are now meeting in the middle, kind of, accepting each other's limitations, that kind of thing. Like, it's fine for you to accept his, but maybe he needs to accept yours, okay? All right, so I guess that's it. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust.